Hello my friends, welcome back. It's Belinda here. Saturday today. I say today because that's the day the video will air, but I'm actually recording this on Monday. And I'm doing Margarete Miller collage as usual for a Saturday. But this one, guys, I really am not sure how this one's going to come together. I've spent way too long trying to find one particular image. And I'm still not overly happy with what I've got, but I've just got to move forward. So it's going to be whatever it turns out to be. I don't think there's going to be any sort of magic happening, but we're going to do the collage and call it done. So let's have a look at the prompts. It's week 9 of the collage assignments. So first prompt, a wild animal. And I really want to use this crocodile, alligator, one of those. I am not precisely sure which, but it's a wild animal and I just love this big toothy grin. I think that's fun. So we're going to go with that. A tree with blossoms is the image that gave me the most trouble. Like, how hard is it to find a picture of a tree with blossom? Well, apparently really difficult. So I did find this image in a magazine, but I didn't really want this guy in the middle of it because he's got no part of this collage and he's right in front of the main part of the tree trunk. Otherwise it would have been perfect. So I'm not using that one. In a Japanese recipe book, I found this cherry blossom image. Really lovely little image, but that's the problem. It's a bit little. The one I am going with is actually kind of not as wide, but it's a bit deeper, so it's still a little image. But honestly, I've just got to stop hunting and go with it. So it's a lovely painting here of some apple blossom, and there's a bowl of apples underneath to kind of reference that is apple blossom. It's got the title down there, so we know it's definitely blossom from a tree, because also I started overthinking, like, what is blossom? Is magnolia a blossom? Because there's lots of images of magnolias, but is it classed as blossom? And I would suspect not, because blossom to me implies that it's something that then turns into where the fruit grows. I don't know if that's correct, but that's what I've got in my head. So I decided not to go with magnolia, which would have been easy. So this is my image, and it is small. It is small. Okay, the next one is a part of a recipe you enjoy making. And so I just hand wrote the ingredient list for the spiced apple muffins, which I made at the weekend, and they're just super delicious. And it's fruiting season here, and we've got an apple tree, so I use my homegrown apples in this recipe, and so yummy. A book page, I just have a random page here that was running around. It's a Spanish book page, so we'll just pop some of that. These last few things are all going to be background detail, not really form part of the story. They're just going to, be in the back. Something that came in the mail. I've got to be careful here because there are addresses on the underside of this. This is a customs form that came off an envelope that the lovely Selena sent me. And yes, I've been holding on to it all this time. I'm going to put that down. I'll probably tear it so that the addresses are never going to be in danger of being shown. So that's something that came in the mail. And then bonus, a date or anything from a calendar. So I have this page here that I've just been like gluing and stamping and stuff on the back of. And it's got a bit of paint on it or ink or something. I'm just going to use bits of that. So I've also got to remember somewhere to put this. Somewhere, I don't know. So I think what I'm going to do to start with is we've really only got two focal images, which is the apple blossom and the wild animal. So I'm just going to kind of arrange something on the page, and it will be whatever it's going to be. It's not going to be anything stellar, I feel. Not today. This is a very thick book page, this. I just love this paper. I love the cream colour. I love that it's in Spanish. I don't so much like that this is actually a memoriam for somebody, and it's got a headstone there, and on the other side it's got a hunter with a dead wild pig. So, you know, that's not so happy. I think I'm just going to, of course, if you can read Spanish, you'll still be able to tell what it is, but for us non-Spanish speakers, we'll just obliviously enjoy the fact that it's foreign text. Tear this wee bit off as well. Nice little scrap that with the border. So I think I'll just kind of arrange this before I start gluing down in case I need to rearrange. So this I'm going to kind of tear somewhere along here. Put that bit aside with the addresses, and you can have that. It's a little bit crinkly, a little bit sticky up where the sticker's peeling up, but we can always go in with some glue. And then I like this weeks bit here where it's got the number, week number. So take a bit of that. I even like the fact that it's got, you know, the little remnants there of the where it was torn off the calendar. So something like that. And then I don't know where these are going to go yet. So I think I want to cover the whole thing. I quite like this Sunday in red with the paint or ink or whatever. Might be ink. But it's not wide enough, so we're going to take a good portion there. Do we want it underneath, over top? Really don't know. It really doesn't matter. Got a gap down the bottom here. But I don't think that matters. I think a couple of gaps are going to be okay. We can always go on with washi tape. Right. So now how to get this all down in the right order. Do we need this to be under, or do we want it over top? I think I'll put this down first because it seems to be underneath everything. Oh, come on, glue. You're going to come out for me? Come out to play, please. No, not happening. Please excuse me. I should have checked before I turned the video on. But it'll only take a second. Yep, it's got a good clog in there. Let's see how that does. Something I typically forget to do is check that the glue is running properly. And it is Monday. I haven't used it for a couple of days actually. Didn't use it yesterday. Might have used it on Saturday. I think I did collage on Saturday, so I think I used it then. But you know, it's had a good day and a half at least of not being used for it to solidify in this bit, the thin bit. And because it's so thin, it doesn't take much for it to clog up, which you will be well aware if you have a very fine glue tip on your bottle. Doesn't take much at all. Right, so let's put that down. Fun bit of interest in the back. And I like these custom forms. I think they're really interesting, so I'm actually very happy to include a bit in my collage. And it will remind me of Happy Mail, which is always a lovely thing. And I should hopefully remember who it came from, but if I don't, well, you know, I can rewatch my video and remind myself. Right. Please excuse me, a bit froggy as well. Let me sip of my cup of tea. Keep my voice lubricated. Right, I'm just going to put the pin away. so it doesn't stab me sometime. Right, I think this bit, do I want this bit? Could actually put that right up. I've got room to put that right up, so we not going to have that gap at the top, so let's do that. And I'm going to keep all these little funky bits at the top because I think that's quite fun. It definitely tells a story that it came off a calendar. It's torn off, and it was a calendar we used last year, so it's not just like a random calendar, but it's a calendar we had hanging on our wall. And I have to say, it was a very boring calendar. It had no pictures at all, but it was one we were given, and we had not bought any for 2023, and so it just got hung up. And that was our sole calendar last year. Really a bit pathetic, isn't it? But this year we made sure we had some nice calendars. So we only have two. We only put two up. I bought one for my husband for Father's Day, which he put away, and then that one got put up that lives in the toilet, actually, the one I gave him for Father's Day. And then we bought a nice one from an artist friend, and which, you know, it's a good price, beautiful artwork, and that's hanging in the lounge right in my view line right now. And it's sort of cartoon style, so it's lots of fun. It's very humorous. Okay, I think I might even just bring this down a bit so we can see that those fun bits popping up the top there. So we're going to put this dead pig to bed. Rest in peace, dear pig. He probably fed lots of people very well, although it's a boar, and I don't imagine the boar actually tastes that nice. But hopefully they ate it and it wasn't just a trophy, because I think that's a big waste and horrible, unless the boar is like a pest and destroying things. Or dangerous, you know, attacking people or animals or something, because boars can be quite vicious. Right, just going to angle this here and pop that here. I'm not worried about this creamy edge because it's not white, it's cream, and it's got a fun torn edge. So quite happy to leave that on, and it covers more of the background, so win-win. My book is getting quite chunky already, and we're only up to week 9. Right, it's a wee bit crinkly, I can see it's a bit bubbly, but that's alright. Now, do I want to tear this side or just leave it? No, I'm just going to leave it. Not going to fuss. As I said, this is not going to be the world's most exciting collage. But it was super hard, and I was thinking about it all last week, because after I'd done that week 8, I had time to think about this one, and I was like, how am I going to turn this into some sort of story? So there is a little bit of a story, it just doesn't involve everything. And I do like to try and involve the majority of the items in the story. Not this week, I'm afraid. But it is what it is. Right, so that's the background done. Not terribly exciting, but it, you know, it's okay. It's interesting. Right, I'm going to close my glue so we don't have to unclog it again before the end of the video. I'm also working with a cut on my thumb. It's not a super bad cut by any stretch of the imagination. It did bleed when I did it, but it's not too bad now. I did it on Saturday, I think. So it's a couple of days old, but it's just like, it hasn't sealed closed, it's open, so it catches, like every time I touch something, I can feel it, and it kind of catches on the edges of paper if I handle things in the wrong way, and it's just annoying. It's not even what I would call sore, it's just annoying and interfering with my sense of touch more than anything is what it's doing. So that's, yeah. And it was silly. I was just silly. It shouldn't have happened. I was cleaning my scissors, these scissors, because they were a bit sticky. And I just, lack of concentration, didn't think about it and just pressed too hard with my wet wipe. And I was like, oh, I think I've cut myself. And sure enough, I had. The thing that I warn you guys about doing, you know, being very careful when you do it, I was not. Right, and I want to fussy cut around this fellow. I think he's a fellow. He looks like a fellow. Doesn't look like a felless or female. I don't know if you know what I mean when I say felless, so just thought I'd clarify. Looks to me like a dude. Definitely a dude. And this is out of a South African magazine. So what do they have in South Africa? Do they have crocodiles or alligators? I really should know this. I should know. But there we go. I don't. And I can't tell them apart. I know one's got a thinner snout and, you know, there are ways to tell them apart. But I can never remember which one's which. It's annoying me, so I'm going to chop it off. Is there anything interesting on the other side? No, there's not. This is from a family of South Africans who used to go to our church, and they moved to the top of the South Island. And when they moved, they were, you know, downsizing as people do when they're moving. And so I ended up with a heap of crafty type stuff from them. And one of them was a big envelope full of images they'd harvested from South African magazines. Oh yeah, I like that. That's kind of working for me. And then we've got the spiced apple muffins. Now the story kind of that I wanted to go with is we've got a bowl of apples here in apple blossom, and we've got spiced apple muffins. So, you know, they're connected. But I want this fellow to be like kind of stealing the recipe, if you like. So maybe even upside down, like he's chomped the recipe in half. To achieve that, I want to open his mouth. So I'm just going to chop along his teeth, up and down, so his teeth still hang over. I'm not going to like chop straight across them. I want the teeth to hang down still. So I hope you don't mind me taking this time to just do a bit of dentistry on our fine fellow here. Actually, that bottom tooth needs to go up. So some teeth go up, some teeth go down. I need to pay attention to that. Otherwise, it's going to look really, really weird. Well, there's a little broken tooth. Look at that. Just a wee stub of, looks almost like a stick rather than a tooth. I guess they lose teeth. Right, and then there's a big tooth up there. What a monster tooth that is. I'm not going to do the whole way along, don't worry. I'm only going to do as far as I think I need to. And there's a couple of teeth overlapping here, so we'll just kind of go midway between them. Gosh, it's very up and down. I didn't actually realise it was quite so up and down. They alternate, one up, one down. I did not realise. It's funny, isn't it? You just look at an image and sort of make an assumption. It's only when you really look at it closely that you can sort of see what's going on. There's a little bit of that tooth sticking up there, and then there's another big tooth. Right, I'm going to stop after this one and check and see whether we've done enough. Have we done enough for a mallow puff? Yes, that is enough. I think that's quite sufficient. Although that looks kind of funny where that tooth was cut out of. Maybe we want to bring it back over top there and just have like that. Like that. Yep, so I'm just going to get my glue and kind of tack that in there so it doesn't move on me. Oops, glue in between where I don't want it. Just wipe that away. It'll be fine. It'll dry. Now I've got sticky fingers. And trying to rub glue off with your thumb that's got a cut in it really doesn't work so well. Right, I'm also going to glue this tooth over top. Oh, my stomach's gurgling. It's the cup of tea, which reminds me I'm going to have another sip. So our alligator, crocodile, friend, whatever he is, quite likes the idea of spiced apple muffins and is stealing away with the recipe. And probably with the bowl of apples, so we can get someone to bully someone up to whip him up a batch of muffins. Right, where am I going to pop this? Is the question. Could put this down as a little side pocket there. Yep, I think I'm going to do that. So let's glue this down to the animal, and then this can glue down because I think I'm happy with the placement there. Remove that for a moment so we don't glue it in. Glue on the bottom here. Right, now I've got to glue this in place. Do we want to bring it over a bit more? Do we want it further this way? Yeah, I think about where I had it seems to be the best place. So we're going to try and put it back in the same place, give or take. Kind of along the side of those ones. So we've got a bit of book page text on this side. Right, okay, I'm going to turn it upside down so I can get in under here. And glue the rest of this guy down. Hope you're having a good day today. I hope you have a fantastic weekend. Of course, I've just finished one weekend, so thoughts of the weekend when this year is far away from my thinking. Oops, better do his snout. Otherwise he might bite someone. Chomp chomp. And not just a recipe. Right. In the bottom of his jaw as well. Oops. Kind of put it back together. Right. I think, oh, a little bit long here. Oh, gurgle, gurgle. Don't know if you can hear my tummy. It's making all sorts of fun gurgles. Right, I think that is it, my friends. I think we have done the collage. So let's flip it up the right way. Make sure we've got everything. Do we want to add any washi tape? I feel like we need something. Like a little bit of colour or something. Like there's these florals and it kind of ties into the idea of blossom. Oh, So there's blues and greens in this. So what one do we think? I think this is more blossom-like. The pink flowers kind of say blossom, but I really like this one. So I'm going to go with this one. Oh, which way is it going? That way. And let's just pop a little bit of washi just to bring in a bit of colour. Maybe down this way. I'm actually going to cut it. Normally I like to tear it, but that end's cut, so I just wanted to cut that end. And let's put a bit up here. I don't think that's straight, but never mind. That's all good. And one more bit somewhere. Maybe up here somewhere. Let's just cut a piece off. Just needed a little pop of colour, I think. Which way round do I want it? Maybe at the top there. Can't see what I'm doing, so I trust it's on the page. Here we go. So, to review, we have wild animal, tree with blossoms. So it's not actually a tree, it's just a branch off a tree, but I'm going with it. I spent too long. Part of a recipe you enjoy making is these beautiful spiced apple muffins. A book page I've got in the back here, something that came in the mail, the customs form, and the bonus a date or anything from a calendar. So we've got a couple of pieces of calendar there. And then we've got our little pocket here for our prompts to slide into. So there we go. It is done. In the end, I'm actually quite happy with it. I think it's okay. It's fine. The story's a bit of a stretch, but it's all good. Thank you so much for joining me today. Hope you enjoyed the process and my inane chatter that came along with it. Okay, have a great weekend, my friends. I will be back on Monday with a new video for the Deal It Up Challenge. I hope to see you then. Take care. Bye.